Hello, I'm Daron Hall. Welcome to the Questionnaire brought to you by the City of Pittsburgh. This is a new program that we've asked one of our youngest and brightest employees, Bree Green. She's going to start doing this on a regular basis. It's a series of questions and different topics to keep you informed on what's going on in your community. Bree's kind of a big deal. She's a student at Pitt State.
Yes, I am a communications student. I'm a sophomore this year, actually. So I've been working here for a year now. That's crazy.
How do you like working for the city?
I love working for the city. I get to sit in my little office in the basement and type away all day. So it's it's just me. If you see any posts from the city on Facebook or any of that stuff, I'm probably had a hand in that. That's what I do.
We're literally paying you to say that, but we
Yes,
appreciate it. And
of
it's
course.
heartfelt. Well, with that, it's Bree's show. So I'm going to try to answer some of her questions and maybe do a little setup for some future shows. So thanks for joining us. What do you have, Bree?
Well, I am very young. As I said, I am not old enough to own property yet. Or I could, theoretically, but I'm maybe not mature enough to do that just yet.
We look forward to the day that you own property.
Of course, I think I will be a very responsible homeowner, of course. But for people who do, or for people who are looking into it, like I kind of am planning ahead, of course. I don't know exactly how property taxes work. Everybody always throws it out like, oh, they went up this year, they went down this year. That's good, that's bad. So, like, could you just tell me what property taxes are to start?
So a property tax is basically a tax that the city, the community, sometimes the county, it's always done locally. They levy on the personal property that somebody owns.
Okay. Is it calculated in like a particular way? Does it stay the same every year, or is it different?
Yeah, that's where it gets complicated. But to simplify it, it's really a combination of actions taken by the local jurisdictions. So the county has a person that they assign to go out, and they will actually assess all of the personal property in the county for a given year. They'll take that number, and then the state has an assessment rate that they assess to all properties. So whether it's residential or commercial, there's a different rate. In the state right now, it's 11.5% for the residential property. And then the last figure that you need to know about is the actual mill rate that the jurisdiction, in our case, it's the city, but the county has a mill rate, the school district has a mill rate, and then you take that mill rate, and that's the third piece. So you've got the valuation amount, the state's assessed tax rate, and then the city's mill rate in this case. And the three of those will kick out a number that will tell you how much tax that you owe on your personal property.
Well, that definitely sounds complicated for sure.
There's a lot to it. It really
Yeah.
is.
Speaking of words I don't understand, Larissa, our financial director, she was talking about appraisals, which our house that me and my family live in just got appraised. And I don't actually know what that means. I feel like I asked my mom, and she was also like, I don't really know what it is. I think it was good, though.
So the appraisal is basically what they're saying your property is worth. And on any given year, it can go up or down. The last couple of years, the appraisal rate for all the property in the county went down for the city of Pittsburgh. But this year, it's actually going up. I think a lot of that's based on competitive, or they call them comps, but comparable properties that sell in the area will kind of drive that price. And so in Pittsburgh, for instance, there's been a lot of home sales and a lot of house demand. And with a little bit of a supply, the demand for those houses is going up and the prices for those houses going up. So if you live in a neighborhood and you have 3 houses around you that sell, the new amount that you will be assessed will be based on what the value of those houses are. In this case, since they're going up, your house is going to be valued higher as well. And I think that's what's happened in Pittsburgh in the last year.
So, do people get appraisals like often, or is that something that you do every year? Is it just
The county's responsible for doing the appraisal of all the property every year. Now, when you sell your house or buy a house, there's an appraisal that goes along with that as well. But yeah, they don't do it. They don't usually just take the number from last year. They usually go out and try to appraise it and see if something's changed.
okay? With all that talk about property taxes, I guess it's important to ask like what the city actually uses them for, because
We count on them. For the most part, they all go into the general fund. There's about 12% of our revenue for the city is property tax, but 30% or more of the general fund is property tax. And that property tax goes to police and fire, administration, court, parks, the most basic services that we have.
okay. So is it like is it pretty reliable? Is it like the same every year, or is it?
Yeah, good question. So the sales tax can go up and down just from month to month. So we could start out with a really nice sales tax number, and it's growing, and then the mid-year it just flattens out. So we don't really know what we're going to collect every year on sales tax. The property tax, because it's an assessed valuation, we put the number down, we set the budget, and we say this is how much property tax we're going to need to pay for salaries and equipment and everything that we buy, and we set that number. That's the number we collect. So it's really helpful for us to have a tax stream that's a third of the general fund, and we know how much money we're going to have every year.
Okay. That does sound like it's pretty important, actually. So a lot more important than I thought it was.
Well, it's very common. Sales taxes come and go. Income taxes in communities come and go. But property tax is something that nationally you're going to find in every community.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for today. That was a lot of information, but I think I got it. I think I understand better now than I did before, because I didn't understand anything at all before.
Oh,
So
you know more than you're giving yourself credit for. But yeah, it's fun to be able to answer it and explain to people. It is kind of the tax season right now with the budget. So thanks for allowing us to get this information out. And what else do you have planned for this show, if I can ask you?
yeah, well, I plan on doing it about twice a month or every other week, I think is how most people would say that. And I'd love for people who watch this video to drop their questions in the comments below. I'll try to get them together and ask either you or whoever I bring on the show that might be better answering those questions. That way we can get information that people really want to know out there. I hope I can help other people learn about how the city government works with this podcast, this series. This series.
The
We'll go with
questionnaire.
that. The questionnaire.
Well, we hired Bree because she's smart, so this is one of her good ideas. So thanks for letting me participate. Hopefully I can do it more in the future, and yeah, let's answer more questions.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good day.